to BrandZ, Most Valuable Brand Builder interview. I'm here today with Miguel Patricio, the Chief Marketing Officer of Anheuser-Busch InBev. Miguel, thank you very much for joining us.
Thank you very much. It's my pleasure to be here with you.
Budweiser and Bud Light are the top growing brand in the BrandZ Top 100 Most Valuable Brands, and over the past 10 years, and they are now the number one and number two most valuable beer brand. Miguel, what do you think are the drivers behind the Bud brand's growth?
First about Budweiser, a couple of components. First, big ambition, and actually I think that's the most important part for a brand to grow. It's not because you dream pretty big that you're going to get there, but definitely if your ambition is small, you're going to have a small result. So I think ambition is critical, and our ambition for Budweiser is huge. So we've been growing throughout the globe, and today sales of Budweiser, more than 50% are outside of the United States. That was definitely not the case 5 years ago. So ambition, and related to that, globalizing the brand. I think this is one of the critical success factors. Budweiser is growing in a very accelerated way in countries as China, Brazil, Russia, UK, and even the United States, where it declined for a long time, is achieving a level of stability. So we are all very excited with that. So ambition, being global, and with that, I think, of course, we have to be meaningful. If you are ambitious and you don't have what to say about the brand, it doesn't take you anywhere. And Budweiser has a unique positioning and attracts, especially outside of the United States, the fact that it's a truly American brand, rooted in the United States, and with all the positive values related to America. I think is very important, and the consumers get that message throughout the world. So again, big ambition, go throughout the world, and have a very meaningful brand.
How about Bud Light?
Bud Light is a huge brand. It's number one brand in the United States, and even in a market that is so fragmented, and every day more fragmented. Bud Light has almost 20% market share in this country. So almost 1 every 5 beers consumed in this country is Bud Light. And I think that we conquer that through many things, but one of them, again, having a very meaningful brand, and with great associations in terms of occasions and in terms of partners. So we have great partners that helped us shape this brand. The brand does extremely well among legal age consumers, so it's a very young brand and has always been rooted and positioned for this young adult audience. Lately we've been expanding Bud Light as well. The brand is doing extremely well both in Canada and in Mexico, and that's also part of the success and the growth of Bud Light.
Yeah, that's great. And you are managing over 200 brands, ABI, and that's such a big portfolio, and you also have very strong brand purpose, bringing people together for a better world. And what do you think are the lessons ABI have learned and in managing, in building strong brands, and especially in building such a strong portfolio of brands?
That's right. We have more than 200 great brands throughout the world. I think that the game of portfolio is understanding how to complement each other. So it took us a while to understand these dynamics. I think we understand that very well. How incremental another brand can be to the entire portfolio, instead of having brands that one cannibalizes from the other one. So our choices today in terms of portfolio are much more made on having brands that complement each other on occasions, on consumer needs, on consumer profiles. So we don't just cannibalize one from the other one. And that's a tough choice. It's especially when you also have to add innovation to that club. It's a tough choice that we have to exercise every year and every day in our lives.
You mentioned about innovation and what are the key initiatives ABI have taken and innovation in the past few years to drive this brand growth?
Yeah, so maybe the most transformational innovation we ever had was the launch of Bud Light Lime-A-Rita here in the United States. It was huge, big success that we were puzzled, we were impressed, we were not expecting such a big success so fast. And that helped us a lot understanding how incremental our volume can be, because we were getting new consumers with different consumer needs, different occasions, very different palates, because it was a product, a malt-based product to be served over ice. There was sweet, there was cloudy, very, very different from what we were doing before. And that opened our eyes to the opportunities that we have throughout the world. And very fast, we started to launch this type of product throughout the world. Last one was in Argentina. We're super excited with the results we're having there. But that was just, I think, that opened our eyes for how big we can be and how the opportunities we can have out of the regular beer or regular lager type of beer, which is the core of our business.
Yeah, that's very great point. And also we are seeing these local brands, crafted beers, are growing at a faster pace.
Yep.
And gradually moving toward premiumization. And what do you think would be the opportunities and challenges for global brand building in the next 10 years?
First about craft, I love what's happening in the craft arena. I think it's bringing back to the beer category the romance that somehow beer had lost. And for the first time in many years, we are competing. I mean, the category is competing head to head with wines and even spirits, and that is great. I remember 5 years ago in New York, you would go to a nice restaurant, you would ask for a beer, and people would say, "Oh, we don't sell beer here." That's past. Now, any restaurant you go in this city, not only in this city, but you order a menu of wine or a menu of beers, and that is amazing. So beer is being premiumized, not only because of craft, but also because of craft. And that's very good. I think that's very good for the industry, and we want, of course, our part of that success as well. So I think that's very exciting. I think the entire market is being premiumized, not only because of craft, also global brands, and even, again, the Ritas of the world, the Lime-A-Ritas and mixed ales, so products that are malt-based, but are also helping us premiumize in the market. I think that's the biggest opportunity for the industry, is to premiumize the market.
Yeah, and there are many new trends happening in the beer category. The millennials' new taste, and women converting from wine to beer. And what are the new trends you are observing in this industry, and how ABI's brands are continuing to remain meaningful and relevant and to the consumers?
I think that the biggest trend is actually have global and meaningful brands, different from other categories. So beer category, so globalization or premiumization of global brands is a big trend. We are growing Corona, Stella, Budweiser, Leffe, Hoegaarden throughout the world in a speed that is we had never been growing before. So I would say that actually that's the biggest one. There are other for sure other trends of products with more taste, more color, which before were more lager based, and then the malt beverages and ciders. So big spectrum. The good thing is that now with this type of portfolio, we can fight head to head, not only in the beer category, but with other categories, which makes our life much more exciting.
Yes, and how do you cope with all these changes?
Working on it and working hard to be ahead of time and not to waste time, and try to put the resources we have around the globe in zones and try to make them more global and less and less local, because otherwise you reinvent the wheel all the time. So let's put our efforts together and have one marketing team instead of having many teams throughout the world.
To ensure these brands are truly globalized
Yes,
brands,
yeah.
and with all these core global positioning proposition behind it.
Absolutely.
That's wonderful. And also, Miguel, what are your suggestions, tips to the marketers around the world? And what are going to be the skill sets you think the marketers need to develop, and in order to continue to build strong brands in the next decade?
I think, again, repeating myself, I think ambition is maybe the most important skill that we can all have. If you think small, you're going to have small results. If you think big, you can have big results. What I see, generally speaking, is people and companies that have small ambitions. So I think that's critical. I think that the second one is consistency. Every new brand manager in a brand wants to change the packaging, the communication, and the agency. I cannot do that. If you see behind a great brand that has been great for many, many years, there's consistency. Consistency on everything they are doing, or everything we are doing. So ambition, one, consistency, meaningful. So brands have to be very meaningful. I think that these three things are critical. I would add a fourth one. For brands to lead, to be leaders, they have to lead. And that means, leading means doing things before anybody else. So leaders cannot be followers. Leaders have to lead the conversation. And I see that that's not necessarily the case always. Big brands become incumbents, and because they are afraid of transforming themselves. I think that big brands need to be ahead of time and lead the conversation if they want to continue progressing and continue growing. So that would be another tip. And related to that, creativity. I think creativity at the end is the soul of meaningful brands. So we have to pursue creativity on everything we do. Of course, meaningful creativity.
And we are seeing Budweiser and Bud Light, and also many of the ABI brands are shifting the priority to social and digital marketing. And you are leading in that space in the beer category.
Yep.
And do you want to share some of these digital and the social marketing experiences you've had globally?
No, I don't think, my vision actually about the digital world is that we all have throughout the world, and even here in our GHQ, a digital team.
Yeah.
Which is a sign of a mistake, right? Because if the brands and our people are truly, digital, we shouldn't need to have a separate team on digital. But at this moment it's necessary, because the transformation is so constant and it's so fast that we need somebody to provoke us all the time about what's going on and teaching us in a regular basis on how to proceed. But in 5 years from now, maybe 8 years from now, I don't want to have a digital team anymore. I want everybody to be digital. Maybe less than that.
That's very good point. We look forward to that. And I'm here with Miguel Patricio, Chief Marketing Officer of Anheuser-Busch InBev. And thank you very much, Miguel, for spending time with us.
My pleasure. Thank you.